My name is Brent Peterson. I'm the co-founder of Wagento. We're a digital agency in Minneapolis. And I'm not sure if my presentation should be performance content matters or content performance matters, but what I'm going to do is kind of highlight the reasons that you should be focusing on content, and especially on pages that we're going to learn are going to be more valuable than others. But who am I? So, co-founder Wagento. I'm a former Magento master. There's no more Magento masters because they retired the program in 2020. I'm a former Magento solution specialist. I did not renew my solution specialist badge. Sorry. I'm former Magento forum moderator. I think that still exists. But I am a current Magento super tweeter, and I'm often very current or very active on Twitter. I have a podcast that has a weekly show talking about commerce, and I really like to take selfies while I'm running. So I stopped putting them on Facebook and Twitter because people were too annoyed by it. So you'll see the odd one every once in a while. All right, but let's start off with what's the most important page on your e-commerce site? Who has an idea what that page is? Like, what would be the page you should focus most on for your content? Nobody at once. All right, a hint. The hint is it's not your home page. All right, so the 5 most important pages, and I'm going to go backwards. So the first one is your shopping cart checkout page, or your 5th one, right? And then your home page. And then your about page. These are all important pages, right? And then your product listing page. And I think everybody already guessed it's your PDP page, your product page. Why? Why? Because your product page is where everything happens. If you don't have a good product page, nobody's going to buy anything from you, right? It's the end of the line. All those other pages are just funnel conduit where they're going to find you, right? So let's start with when somebody's out there searching for your page, for your website, for your content, for your product, where are they going? So everybody's heard ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT, so it told me, the first one is going to be like your direct search is going to go to your homepage, right? Somebody's searching for you, your brand, you're going to end up on your homepage, right? So that's important, right? But on your homepage, you're probably going to list some products or whatever, so they're going to end up at a product page. The next one, if they're searching about your company, you're going to end up on an about page. So all these are important. I'm not discounting them. If you're running PPC, you're going directly to a landing page, and most likely you would like somebody to buy something on that page. And again, that's probably going to be a PDP page. And then if the cheapest way is to use long tail search terms, and you start writing content around those long tail search terms, and they're going to end up on that product because they are searching for something very specific, and they're going to end up on your page. So 90% of the time, the destination where people land is your product page. We've all searched for stuff, and you end up looking at Amazon, and it either shows you this category listing page, or it shows you the product page. And by the way, Amazon is now one of the biggest search engines out there. People often, if they're looking for a product, they go to Amazon first. They don't even look on Google. And then they'll figure out, oh, is this somewhere else, right? So why are the PD pages so important? We talked about, like, it's the end of the line, right? Should I buy it? Should I not buy it? The PDP page is the buy all, end all. PDP pages build trust, and it builds your integrity. It is the place where you need accurate data. You need to have low friction of buying. This is what you want people to get onto that page. You want them to buy something, and especially in the mobile environment, you want those people to buy that thing on that page with as little friction as possible. And I think Willem next door is talking about HUFA and the checkout process and how important that is for everybody. So one-step checkout or having a fast checkout process is going to be important. We all know that there's all kinds of new customers out there, and right now in this world, They're all trying to find the products they want. They're online. The pandemic taught us that being online and having a presence online is important. And what we've seen now with the rise of AI and the rise of content is that people are using content to drive this traffic to sites. So if we look at why we're doing this, we want to minimize returns. I mean, why we want to have good, strong PDP pages, minimize returns, minimize return rates. So that just means our customers are coming back over and over again. But I don't mean churn like coming back, but I mean churn is like they've come to you once and they're not coming back. And then we want to reduce customer complaints. So all those things are the reason why you need to have a well-executed PDP page. So the big question, how do we get our content to perform, right? How do we make the content worth it? So I'm going to back up. We're going to go over some of those things, but first I want to talk about the internet. If anybody's seen the IT crowd, they know this box. This is the internet. Okay, so the underpinnings of your page. This is going to be very short technical. We're not going to do much in it, but we want smaller image sizes. We want to have caching. We want to have optimizing your code. These are all things that we all know about, right? We want to reduce our HTTP requests. All these help in your performance of your page. You want to consider Hoofa. And then we want to know how we're writing it. So Google has this thing called EAT, and they're always challenging us. They just added an extra E to EAT. So we have expertise, we have authoritativeness, which means that your content on that page is going to give you authority and people are going to go to you. They want it to be trustworthy, and then they want to have experience. They want to know how much you've had experience on your page. So EAT just came out. The extra E literally just came out. Now we all know about Web Core Vitals. So this is how we measure how well it performs. And I'm not even talking about the content yet. I'm talking about how well your content performs. So we have your Web Core Vitals. I'm not going to go into that. But we also have Hoofa themes. And that's going to help you. You can see I'm a big fan. All right, so the meat of this topic is the content that you have on your page, right? Content is king, right? How do people find you? They use search, right? What do they use to search? The people use words in their search, right? So search engines use content to find content for the content they're searching for. So we need to know on our search pages, or when we're searching, that our product pages have the content we have, but we can't get all that content on that page. So there's a way to get people to drive traffic. HubSpot knows this. They call it cornerstone content or pillar content, and WordPress calls it cornerstone content, right? We have a bunch of content that wraps around your product page. We have blogs, we have videos, we have testimonials. There's all kinds of things that you can do to add into your content plan that is going to generate traffic for that product page. So think about the EAT, and think about how you're going to get people to your product page and how you want to test and see how well that's going to do. So you want to start building different content around that, a blog post, a video, a testimonial, all those things that are going to go into your content calendar that are going to start building pieces of that puzzle to start driving traffic to each of those pages, right? So we have the cornerstone stuff, which I talked about. We have that as your foundation. Let's just say your product page is the foundation. You start writing blog posts about that product page. You start using different tools then to measure how well that content is performing, the new content you're adding. I would say you add a new blog post every single day, start measuring it, see how well it performs. You can use Google Search Console to find opportunities, what people are searching for, but they're not clicking yet. So you might have a number of impressions that are out there, and you might have a number of a page ranking, but you have 0 clicks. So you use that data to uncover opportunities that you have that you can drive traffic to that specific page. And then, of course, you're going to need traffic to help that, right? So that traffic, what's the magic formula? There's organic traffic, right? But the magic formula to get a lot of traffic is going to be PPC. So I have some action items that we can just quickly go over that help you understand what you need to get your traffic working and to get that strong content, that eat content onto your product pages and get them to push into that. So we talked about the videos, we talked about different blog posts. I did mention how to use Google Search Console to uncover those opportunities, and you should use Google Analytics then after to see how well that's performing. And you should do this on a weekly basis, a daily basis. You should start working on that content to wrap around your product pages to build that organic traffic on all your pages and any product page that you want to gain traffic to. There's obvious things like PPC, which I mentioned earlier, but there's other things that you can do to also leverage that. It would be influencers to help build that. There'd be social. There's your customers that are going to be great, great for your product. Your customers are your best people to drive traffic to your own site. There's retargeting campaigns. All these things we all know about. Publish content related to your PDP page that is outside of your existing site. So getting all that content out there, but that's driving to this one place. That's how you're going to gain that extra traffic. That's how you're going to start getting that authoritativeness on there. And especially when you have specific items that you want to, that are long tail or that are very specialized, those are the things that this is going to be the most effective on. Obviously, sharing on social media, using remarketing tactics, and leverage your YouTube videos. So if anybody has done YouTube, it's a great way, and Magento, by the way, supports native linking of YouTube's on your product page. If you've seen what Amazon is doing, you should do that in Magento, and that will help you build both on your YouTube, but also right on your PDP page, having that embedded video. And then it is just a constant whirlwind of doing it, right? So you're gonna strategize what your content you're doing. You're gonna create that content. You're going to then measure how well it's doing. You're going to go back, making sure that you know how you can improve it. I would even say improving the blog posts that are working well, doubling down on that content and making sure that content is then performing the way you'd like. And then, of course, promoting it and making sure that you're always doing that. The final thing that I would say that you need to do is A/B test everything. Anything that you're doing, A/B test it, measure it, see how well it performs, and do the next one. I know that Guido Henson from the Netherlands has talked all the time about conversion rate optimization and how Book.com uses that, and they get 10% success ratio out of that. But that 10% helps them learn and drive more and more traffic to their site. That A/B testing, that optimization, and that increased content will help you to continually drive new traffic to your sites, as well as bring in new customers, because the new customers are how you're organically going to add on and grow. All right, so I'm open for questions. This is how you can get a hold of me. I've been tweeting about e-commerce tips, and you can find me on LinkedIn. And just like if anybody saw Mark Schu's topic about ChatGPT and AI, I have an open AI project that's on Dolly. And I've been generating a Jack Russell post that is that is painted by a famous artist, and you can do incredible things with AI. So I would encourage you to experiment with it and try it. Questions? Yes. Yes, they're all my dogs surfing. They're all generated by AI. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there isn't a lot of difference in B2B other than your content is much more specific. But using how-to videos on B2B, building out that authoritative content is going to help. If you're a manufacturer, distributor, that's going to help all of that downstream. So think about Adobe as a B2B, right? Adobe is selling to other vendors, right? They're generating a lot of content that helps to drive traffic to their product. I think you should start looking at B2B now as an e-commerce site and not always segmenting. And I would say, what would be the biggest difference from a content standpoint that would set it aside from a D2C site? Yeah, so B2B, that's a great question. So the B2B, all the more reason to really key on to go in on your long tail search terms and start writing content about those things, right? So that very long tail things that people are searching for, instead of having to pay for that click, that long tail search term has more opportunities for a natural organic click than it does than a paid click. So as B2B, you have much more opportunity for organic traffic than you do in the B2C space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a great point. Number one, I mean, there's AI tools that do rewrites for you. So if you already published them one place, you can use a tool that will rewrite that article for your own site, and it's great because it's already your own content, right? And so if it is published somewhere else, you can use a rewrite, either rewrite it yourself or use a tool to rewrite it, and then post it on your site. Then the important part is you need to have that outbound link coming into your site. You also want to have that internal link pointing all to your main page that you want that traffic to go to. So that internal linking, that outbound linking, that incoming linking is going to help you generate higher search authority, it's going to get you up on those Google pages. So yeah, thousands of that's a dream of any content creator's ears, is to hear thousands of pages of existing content. And I would say even older content you can use because it probably has some pretty good authority that already exists. Go in and add links to your site. And I would also say on those pages, like use Hotjar or something like that to see where people are clicking, right? So on your product page, you can see where they're going. On any pages that people are coming to, if you use something like Hotjar or Optimizely is going, or Google Optimize is going away. That's the AB. But if you use a heat map tool, you can learn where people are clicking. You can start adding in little banners on that blog post to help drive traffic to the place where you'd like them to go. So you can know where people are landing, and then you can use that linking or a banner or whatever you want to use. In WordPress, if you put in a right column or left column, add a banner onto that page, and then use that to say, hey, you're going there. You make sure that they can click there. And then the other thing I would say on a blog page, you should always have a call to action. If you don't have a call to action on the blog page, that you're missing opportunities, right? You want to have a link to your product page, but that call to action could be buy this product right now, and a lot of you can embed that and letting them buy right from that blog post. Questions? Yeah, so I just wrote an article about that Google will, right now they are going to have plans to penalize you for AI. So any AI writing needs a human to read it and to make sure it doesn't sound like crap. And I can tell you that a year ago, my dogs looked like crap and they're starting to look better. And I still get a lot of bad dog pictures that I don't post. Same with content. Right now, if you ask for something like a blog post, you're going to get a lot of redundancy. You might get 2,000 words. You're going to have to take 800 out. It requires a human to look at it. And then it's going to require that human to do all that interlinking. So it's not completely automatic. And I still wouldn't trust an AI tool to do that for you. I would have, it's going to really cut down on your time because a writer's going to take quite a bit of time to write that post. But you need to have that editor to come back and look at it. Yeah. Yes, that's a great question. So how can you determine how to rank the pages you're creating for your cornerstone? Testing is the best way to do it. And your Google Analytics are going to tell you which pages are being used, which pages are getting landed on after that page has been created. The longer page, the longer content you create, or the longer keywords in that. And there are also AI tools out there that will tell you, hey, you have to write all this stuff. You have to have so many keywords in this area, and there's tons of tools out there to use in terms of making sure that that you have the right keywords on that page and that you have the right content on the page. Now, it's not always going to be perfect, and sometimes it's going to sound kind of silly, but there is a balance between what Google wants to see and what we want to read, right? Getting people to that page is that first thing, and then I would use maybe that bounce rate, or there's a new, in GA4, I think there's a new term for it, but that exit rate to see how well it's performing. If your bounce rate is really high and people are just going, oh, this is crap, then make it just continue to refine it, make it better. You should pray. I'm not saying you should buy those words. Sometimes those long words are going to be really cheap to buy, but the goal here is to create this organic content and the organic searches are going to find them. And if you look at your Google Search Console, you're going to see that it'll give you opportunities. It's going to give you the impressions. It'll give you the number of clicks, and it'll give you the ranking on your page. So you want to be on page 1. And you want to have a lot of impressions, and you want to get clicks, right? You want to get those 3 areas. So the ones you want to look at first are the high impressions, low page ranking, so first page or second page, and then 0 clicks. Like, why aren't I getting any clicks on this? You want to make sure that content, and most likely it's going to be high impressions, and you're on the 60th page. So you want to start building that content to get that higher page ranking, and you'll get those clicks in. More questions? One more question. All right, if anybody, yes? Mm-hmm. The GA4 or the AdWords, or the performance, it's called Google Performance or something like that. Definitely Google is going hard into AI, and that I've heard mixed results on the PPC performance. If you spend a lot of time and you're spending a lot of time looking at it, you'll perform better if you're doing it yourself right now. But I think their goal at Google is that it's hands off, and they're going to their goal is to maximize their spend, right? Their goal is to make sure that they're both getting money and you're getting your ad click-throughs. So I think at the end it's going to be good. I think that you really need to keep your eye on it, because I think that's within the last year. That's a new program where they're trying to get everything AI in the Google clicks. Okay, so I think Google Chat, any chat, right? So this is what I think is going to happen, and this is going to be exciting. All the attributes we have in Magento, there are opportunities for a chatbot, a customized chatbot for every single product. You can now then build out a little chat service that answers every single question about your product. We can do that right now, but we can also learn what people are asking, and we can start adding in more attributes. And now your chatbot is suddenly even better. So you could have a 100% expert that could work with you. And as I learned earlier, there's some great voice AI tools that can actually talk to you and tell you, hey, this widget is the best thing in the world. It has all these features. And by the way, this other widget has 90% of the features of the first widget. So this little chatbot that's going to happen soon is going to be able to help us find things and buy things. So think about how layered navigation works. It's going to happen with little chatbots in there. And you can have one that's customized for every product. You'll have one that's for the whole site. But definitely having that chatbot that kind of weeds out some of those people and answers a lot of those questions without a real person getting there is going to help your team. I still say for all chat, you should at the end of the line have a person who's going to answer it. If you can do it all day long, that's better, all night long. But answer it, right? Like the worst thing is when you get there and then it's just like, email us, and then 3 days later, nobody's gotten back to you, right? Well, why did you even put a chat on your site? Questions? Yes?
So, as you were saying, I've seen some technologies that are pretty good at extracting attributes from images. Since you're playing with DALL-E, are you seeing DALL-E or any other technology getting close to saying, here's some personalization information we know about the person. Here's a product image with a transparent background. How can I put it into one of multiple dynamic backgrounds to get that product imagined with the lifestyle the person's looking at?
Yeah, and that's already happening. I interviewed somebody that has that service already. So they're not using real models; they're using AI models to generate looks for clothing and things like that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So the next phase is going to be you upload a bunch of your own pictures. Hopefully, it's going to be somewhat private, and it's going to show you everything. You're going to be able to look at yourself in that things, right? Like you're going to be able to see how you look in that outfit.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for their questions, and big round of applause for Brent.